This story took place when I was living in Florida. During my time there, I owned a nice house on the beach. This was amazing because every time I got a day off, I would be able to go down to the ocean and relax. That was up until a couple days ago, when everything changed. The day started off just like any other day. I had a day off from work, so I was planning to chill by the beach for most of the day. I should probably mention that I am a 23-year-old female, living alone. Normally, I like to set up my stuff on the beach in front of my house, so that it's easy to go in and out of the house in case I need anything. Anyways, I ended up going into the ocean to cool off. After that, I came back out and sat down to relax. That was when I caught a glimpse of my house. The light in my bedroom was on. I remember 100% that I turned off the light before leaving my house for the beach. Of course, now I was confused and curious, so I started walking back to the house to check it out. Once inside, I walked straight up to the bedroom and looked around, but as I thought, there was nobody there. I also made sure to briefly check the entire house before heading back out to the beach. For the rest of the day, everything seemed fine at the house. Once 6 p.m. hit, I decided to pack up all my stuff and leave for the day. As I turned around, I looked up at my bedroom window. The light was back on. Not only that, I could see the silhouette of a person standing in the window staring at me. As soon as the person realized that I saw him, he turned away and disappeared from view. This time, I was extremely concerned, but I did not call the police yet, since I thought I might be hallucinating. This is because it makes no sense that there would be a man in my house. I walked into the front door and screamed, "Is there anybody in my house?" There was no response, so I continued up the steps towards my bedroom. Once inside, I sat on the bed in shock, because there was no one in the house. I also decided to call the cops just in case. After I got off the phone, I realized the footprints of mud in my room. The prints looked like boot prints from a man. This concerned me, but what scared me the most is that the footprints led to the edge of my bed. That's when it hit me. I slowly looked under the bed, and what I saw scarred me. There was a man hiding under the bed in my bedroom. I screamed in horror and ran out of my room, running out of the house. Luckily, the guy did not follow me, and when the cops showed up, they were able to arrest him. I still don't know the guy's intentions for entering my house, but I'm just happy that I am safe. During the month of August, I had planned a small vacation with some of my friends. We were planning to fly to California for a week and chill by the beach and party. My plan was to fly at night and reach California by the next morning, and then get to the rented Airbnb. As soon as we landed in California with my friends, we drove down towards the beach and got to our Airbnb. Once I finished unpacking, I put on my bathing suit and I walked out onto the beach to go into the ocean. My friends obviously arrived in California as well, and they came down to the beach. After a long day at the beach, one of my friends decided that we should go out to the local bar to get some drinks. This sounded like a great idea, so I agreed. Later that night, we all dressed up nicely and walked a 10-minute walk to our local bar. Once we arrived, we all ordered a drink and tried talking to some girls to try and get their numbers. This took a long portion of the time at the bar. At some point, I was getting kinda tired, so I told my friends that I was gonna leave the bar. Surprisingly, my friends also decided to join me and leave the bar since it was late. By this time, it was already 2 a.m. The Airbnb was located 10 minutes away, so we decided to walk back. I was a little buzzed, but I knew I was definitely better than my friends. As my friends and I were walking back, I heard a loud car engine sound from my right. I turned to my right to make sure everything is okay, and that's when I noticed a fancy sports car approaching us. I knew this was not the best situation to be in, as I realized we were probably about to get jumped. So I told my friends to just start walking a little faster. This did not help, as the car sped up, pulled up next to us, and 3 men got out of the car. The main guy yelled at us to give them everything we got. This included money, watches, and phones. For some reason, I ended up yelling back at the 3 guys saying no. Looking back on this, it was a very stupid idea. The main guy then approached me face to face and repeated himself. Me being the stupid dumbass decided to punch the guy. Surprisingly, my punch did some damage as the guy fell to the ground. My friends then also started to fight the other 2 people. This quickly escalated into a street fight. Luckily, my friends and I all managed to somewhat beat up the 3 guys and escape. To this day, I am happy that we were able to escape that night without getting jumped. During the time that this story took place, I used to live in Virginia. Anyone who lives in Virginia knows that we don't have the best beaches, but we have something at least. At the time, I was 20 years old. My girlfriend, who was also 20, lived close to the beach. One Saturday night, I invited her to go out with me to the beach to chill, relax, and watch the stars. I told her that I was gonna bring food and a blanket to have a picnic on the beach. When she agreed to go, I told her that I would pick her up by 7 p.m. By this time, the sun was starting to set, and I started the 30-minute drive to her house. On the way to her house, when I was about 5 minutes away, I noticed a white Nissan car had been tailgating me for a while. I was not completely sure, they could have been going to the beach as well. Either way, I decided to test them out. I took 4 right turns, creating a circle to see if they would follow me. To my surprise, they did, without hesitation. At this point, I decided to call my girlfriend and let her know what was going on. I did not want to drive to her house, so I don't give away her address to the strange man following me. So what I decided to do was stop on the side of the road in order for the car to pass. I know there was no way he was going to stop because he was not going to risk a confrontation. I was right. The car kept on going, speeding up and driving away. Once I was sure the car had completely passed, I continued to drive to my girlfriend's house and picked her up. When we arrived at the beach, I parked the car and we both brought out all the food and items down to the sand. By this time, it was already dark since I arrived late due to the road situation. Anyways, we both ate and then looked at the stars and talked. I think we talked for at least 1 hour when my girlfriend stopped me and said, "Do you hear that?" I was so caught off guard that I replied with, "Wait, what?" She then began to tell me that she heard some sounds coming from the ocean, kinda like splashing sounds. I was confused. I heard those sounds as well, I just didn't think much of it. But then to make things worse, the whistling started. It was a strange whistle, a mix between a creepy but calm whistle. This pushed it over the edge. I stood up and looked towards the ocean. My eyes were already adjusted due to the darkness, so I was able to clearly see the man in the boat. He was looking right at us, not moving, and whistling. "Is there a problem?" I yelled. There was no response, just some more whistling, but the boat seemed to go away slowly. After it fully disappeared, I reassured my girlfriend that everything was fine, and we continued talking. Not even 10 minutes later, I heard the same sound coming from the ocean. This time, I quickly stood up and looked at the ocean. There was no boat. In fact, I could not see anything. I squinted my eyes and scanned the ocean again. This time I could see the head of a man poking out of the water. This was a horrifying sight. There was no way anybody would be out in the ocean at 9 p.m. in complete darkness. That's when I realized it had to be the same guy that was on the boat earlier. I was not going to stick around to find out. I told my girlfriend that we were leaving and I quickly packed up our stuff. We both left and drove to the nearest fast food place. Luckily, nothing else happened for the rest of the night. Now, looking back on the situation, the car tailgating me earlier was probably the same person that was stalking us on the beach.